Alright, we're back
Goody.
with game 3 of this series, and I apparently failed to appropriately export my image for the draft, which means it's wrong. There we go. Now it's not. So, everything's fine. This series is tied 1-1, obviously. That's why we're in a game 3. As game 2 went to the guys on tyvm in sub 25 minutes. So, 2 games, less than 45 minutes in this series. And that's strange. Don't usually see.
I would just say that, the draft,
Yeah, it's been weird.
more or less.
It's been a bit weird. And I mean, to be honest, this is the round of 16 after a major patch, so I'm not that surprised. I think teams are probably still trying a lot of stuff out. Yeah, we've had a month since the patch hit, and I'm assuming that these teams have scrimmed at least a little bit. Yeah, it's Gold Division, but they've probably played a little. And there's, nonetheless, there's a difference between scrims and tournament games, and it's going to be a while before we really figure out, is Tremble legitimately viable? And if he is, when do you run him? And is a Suicide Accursed a thing that we need to be worried about? Because neither of those were things we were seeing a lot of before in Season 3. So, I can forgive people a little bit, I think, for having weird drafts.
Yep. Seems like some teams are rating Tremble really damn high at this time.
Like GI?
He's very. I don't necessarily like him too much, but obviously Certus does,
Yeah.
and wants me to first pick it more or less every game. I wouldn't say it's that good, but third pick, obviously, it's very viable. But so far, everyone has banned it against us in
Yeah.
the first 2 blind bans every single game, so we haven't been able to, try it out,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Certos is a really good Tremble player, and I also think that it's a good thing that they are wasting that ban in every game against you guys. I think it's worth it in some games,
Yeah,
probably,
it's really good, actually.
but I don't think it's worth it every single time.
I don't know, Tree actually picked it
Yep.
versus us, but that was the game that we won 15 minutes. So we just picked a push lineup against it, and he just literally could do nothing. So yeah, you need to know his strengths, obviously. If he is left to free farm uncontested, then he's definitely going to be a big problem to deal with. But in the early game, if you go, for example, an aggressive dual lane towards him, I mean, there's literally nothing he can do. He's going to have to be forced to switch lane.
Was that the game you guys won? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, Tremble was in the game that we won.
Not so sure about that.
I'm 100% sure. Why?
PI versus RM.
Or what?
Do I not have that? God darn it. I might not have that. Sorry,
No,
I
in
was
the third
doing...
game we tried something. Yeah, okay.
I was writing an article yesterday, and oh shoot, I never got that.
I got it
Never
right
mind.
here. I see
It's
the
no,
stats.
you're probably totally spot on. I was writing an article yesterday about the new heroes that we've seen in Cycle 7, and I think I need to fix that because it seems like I forgot to include a series. And it may have been because I was like, Trumbull went 2-0, so when did he lose a game against PI? And then I'm looking at it again, I'm like, I only have one loser back at round 2 match. So it's probably because I didn't get the game in there. So, oh well, gonna have to make some minor changes, but it's a good thing that article didn't get published yet. Sorry, that's not.
Okay.
I was all over the place now. Anyway, we're halfway into this draft, and Tremble is not banned or picked, so let's stop talking about him. So played Magnus in the first 2 bans for Gokugs right there. His Swiftblade really seems to have survived the patch, but is still a top tier hero. Hellborn going to ban out Ophelia and Kraken. That's going to lead to Parasite, Rhapsody, and Deadwood for the Legion side. So once again, despite the nerf, Parasite still considered a top tier hero. Hellborn going to go with Bubbles, Empath, and Silhouette. So Marcus Moy going to get his hands on that famed Silhouette once again. My guess is that Bubbles will be in the hands of Okami, who plays a lot of Bubbles in my recollection. And it's interesting. I really like the Parasite change, by the way. I like
Yeah,
that.
I think so too. Like, he's more balanced now.
Yeah.
And he's not frustrating to play against.
It was literally exactly what I said that they should do. Like 2 weeks before they announced the patch changes. I was like, that's the only thing I want. That's just, there's no reason for him to gain health when he's in creep. Just make it a +0 and everything will be fine. So clearly, I am a genius.
Yeah. Or at least not gain health like that drastically, so that you can sit inside
Right.
a catapult and just, you know, out attack the tower, take one tower hit, go back and heal for like 5 seconds, then attack again
Right.
and take one tower hit. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Because 1.5% doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually kind of is. Especially if
Yeah,
you
that
have like
was
a
a
800
lot.
health creep or something like that. It's a fair amount of health per second. Yeah, well, going to be the hands of Gokugs once again. He played the jungle Ophelia last game, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that he is playing their jungle. And again, the implication, or the scuttlebutt is that is Meisty. So, would make sense. He was a hard support player before, but I believe he played some jungle as well. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
All these the U.S. players and the U.S. teams back when he was playing was basically like, let's see who shows up for the match, because that's going to determine who's going to play what role. Anyway.
I like this one.
Yeah.
Electrician. I think the entire Legion lineup is actually really good in general so far. As long as they pick up something that has the potential of dealing physical damage as their last pick, but I hope they man up as well versus the Silhouette and Empath, seeing as they got 2 strong solo laners, Deadwood and Electrician now, and they have an offensive Parasite, so...
Yeah, and Silhouette definitely a hero that I feel like you really need to punish in lane, because she isn't that strong a laner, and presumably Empath will be hanging out with her in that top lane, but if you can shut her down early, I mean, she will recover, but the other option is to not shut her down early, in which case she takes over the game and destroys your entire team. So it seems like one of those options is better than the other, and Marcus Moy isn't exactly a inexperienced Silhouette player, so definitely a guy that you need to address. But my guess is that they go with the Suicide Electrician, and that's going to be unfortunate.
Okay. Andromeda, I like that one as well, because
Yeah.
now they have the potential of actually trailing safe lane. I don't think Andromeda was the right choice though, or actually I feel like the Empath is the wrong one in this game, but like Empath Andromeda Silhouette tri-lane just seems very, very iffy.
I'm okay with it. Because
Like they don't have a... yeah, okay, yeah.
Because
go.
of the new change to Andro, I think she is viable. I mean, it's 70 mana for her stun now, which means she can spam that like crazy. And the Legion side is going for a jungler, which means that they cannot put an aggro tri-lane against the opposing team's opposing team's tri-lane. So having a single target ability like that is not going to hurt them all that much. Obviously, in a tri-lane, it's like, okay, I only stun one hero. So it's great that I stunned a hero, but there's 2 other heroes that can still do stuff. And that's interesting.
I think Andromeda is a great hero as well. I mean, in general, in tri-lanes he's awesome, or she's awesome.
Right.
But just together with an Empath and Silhouette, like they're not going to be able to do anything if the Legion team actually had a decent hero now. Now they're not going to man up, it seems like. But if they did, I mean, that's a very, very weak tri-lane. I mean, Empath wall is literally not going to do anything, because it's going to be an Andromeda with low range and a Silhouette who deals no damage in early game, who's going to be, you know, chasing after. So I don't know. I feel like Legion team is addressing this problem in the wrong way. I mean, if they picked something a little bit stronger, not necessarily sure what right now, but something that had a solid stun and just, you know, were able to set up kills with a Rhapsody and Parasite, they would have crushed that tri-lane. Rally. So this is an aggressive dual lane?
No, I still think it's a safe lane tri-lane. Yeah.
No, they're not gonna have 3 people in the safe lane now, because it's gonna be a Suicide Electrician. They can't man up with the Dark Lady.
Yeah, but I still think they want to punish the Ellie, and I think they can repeatedly kill him. So no, I don't think it's gonna last. Sorry, I think it's gonna start out being a short lane, safe lane, tri-lane, and then they're gonna either kill the Ellie once or keep him level 1 until for a while, and then they're going to start to roam more often, because Rally and Bubbles are both good solo laners, and the Legion have good lanes, but I think Bubbles will beat Deadwood middle. Actually, no, sorry, Bubbles is being played by Okami, so that's going to be their long lane hero. It's going to be Rally versus Deadwood. That could be a problem.
Is this an offensive dual lane? I think. Either that or dual mid to punish the Deadwood. I really don't feel like they should place Deadwood versus Bubbles.
Or
that
they're
would
going
be
to
really
aggro try
iffy.
with Rally.
I sure hope they won't, but I mean that's really
a bad
stupid.
idea. I don't like that idea either. But I mean, they're sending 4 heroes to the bottom lane, so there's
You have
it
so
could be a
shitty
2-1-2.
supports. Oh boy. Like if, like let's say that TDL is gonna solo down here, which he should in this case. Electrician is gonna be doing fine versus Silhouette, and Dark Lady should be able to get both experience and some last hits with Attained Soul versus a tri-lane. On top of that, Andromeda and Empath can't roam, because obviously Andromeda has no range on her stun, and Empath is not going to be able to get into position for her wall. It would have been one thing if they had something like a Behemoth, so they could actually roam the mid, but I just don't think this is going to work out too well for them, but hey.
And they're going to keep the Dark Lady right down here by herself, which I actually don't like. I would really prefer them to put Rhapsody down here. I mean, Deadwood Rhapsody, is that going to be all that viable against the Bubbles?
No, Deadwood is going to crush the Bubbles either way, so I don't think it matters.
Yeah. So you might as well keep the Rhapsody in the bottom lane because, again, she's not going to help the Electrician either. So.
She would. I mean, if she were at the top, I mean, they would definitely need to or leave this offensive tri-lane and send someone to the top lane. But at the same time, what does that really do for the Hellborn team in that case? Because they're not going to be too much off or better off in a dual lane than versus this tri-lane.
Right.
I feel like they should just leave it like this.
Yeah, they want to address this TDL and make sure that she doesn't get anything like that. So yeah, I'd imagine this is what's going to happen now, and this is going to be relatively static in terms of the lane rotations. Hellborn does pull this a little bit, and that means that it's creep wave.
Really smart, actually. I like the fact that they are doing this so early.
Yeah, and I'm going to wall off the TDL as well, but that's not going to do all that much. So, and the 6 going to have some difficulty CSing right here. He does get 2, but just 2 out of 4.
Yeah. Rhapsody forgot to, or didn't stack the pull camp. He had vision on both supports on the lane, so he shouldn't have been afraid of that. And
speaking of both supports, there's one stun, and we'll see if they have any follow-up here. Charging Strikes is available. It's going to go right on the wall, and Empath takes a bunch of damage, but actually there's another stun available from Andro. Now there is. Rally's still looking for some initiation. Compel stun back in a couple of seconds, and they're doing a lot of tower diving right there on the Hellborn team. Did they use 2 mana pots or health pots right there?
Yeah, they used 2 health pots on the Hellborn side.
No, on one hero. Yeah, they used one on Andro. I thought I heard a third sound go off. Maybe I'm crazy, but yeah, that wasn't worth it.
That wasn't worth it at all. But yeah, Rhapsody has the stack. I hope she's gonna do that now. Yes, she is.
So she's
what
gonna be able to get...
just happened? I don't see any trees. Do you see the trees?
No,
I
don't.
But they are apparently there. Because the creeps ran around.
Maybe it's a compat issue. That's the only thing I can say.
Well, it's like...
It might be a problem because we're reverting to a different version, but... Yeah, I mean... Rally's gonna get really good farm in this lane, or at least he should, considering there are at least one and occasionally 2 supports down here helping him out, but... I just don't know how that's gonna help them. I mean... So Rally gets an early PK. Alright. I'm not all that afraid.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, you're losing your solo lanes. Like, why would you wanna focus on, shutting down the Dark Lady when you yourself are not getting any farm whatsoever on your Silhouette? Right. And on top of that, I mean, Deadwood is gonna be, having a field day because he's up against 2 supports, and he's gonna get a good start. Like, what?
Yeah, this is real weird to me. And that's not even addressing the Parasite factor, who's also going to have an enjoyable time.
What the hell? They have a Parasite free farming as well.
Yeah, this is strange a little bit from the Hellborn team, it feels like. And, I mean, it's already being felt, because the Suicide Electrician has more GPM than the short lane Silhouette in a 1 versus 1. And in the middle lane, Deadwood is destroying Okami. Well, he was destroying Okami, now he's just winning. Okami about 15 GPM behind. But... Like, and now the supports are roaming to the middle lane, but again, Empath's level 1. Andro's level 3, which is nice, but... this isn't
Neither
good.
of them even have archers. Like, they're not farming, they're not getting anything out of this. Like, they're gonna be so far behind, and I don't know. I mean, you should never try lane versus a Dark Lady, because she is gonna get experience and some last hits anyway. I mean, you're not gonna be able to kill her because of that charging strikes. You should, I mean, just dual lane her, because she's so weak already, so... dual lane is just enough to shut her down.
And you're especially not going to kill her without a triple stun tri-lane. and they don't have one of those because Empath, you can't reliably get that Essence Link stun off. So even if they hit 2 stuns between Rhapsody and the fact that they can't really stop the charging strikes, I think they don't have any realistic shot at killing her.
I mean, Andromeda just picked up a DD at the bot room. Why doesn't he head mid or top instead? Like he would have been able to do so much more for his team than standing down here doing absolutely nothing.
Well, I couldn't tell you. And
I don't know where Dark Lady is hugging the tree or behind the tower though, not even getting experience.
Well, there aren't any creeps down right there, but it does seem like she should be doing a little bit more. I'm completely missing that. Marcus Moy in the top lane dying to Parasite. So speaking of things that aren't going well for the Hellborn team, let's add that to the list. God, Andrew, are you really going to stack this camp for them? Okay, thank you. That was, I'm sure, not what she meant to do, but okay. And it still keeps going back to me, this thing of, alright, now Rally's farming as well as Bubbles, which is kind of insane considering he's had 2 supports down here for the most part. So Platycris is missing CS for reasons I don't understand. And even if he's 350 GPM, right? Let's say he's got a portal key at 9 minutes. That'd be annoying, but they can play around it pretty damn easily. As, oh, they're going to 2-man Kelpfield right here in the middle lane. Actually, the Shell Surf goes through and Parasite going to fall. Kelpfield locking down Deadwood for a while, but he does not take the stun. And here comes Rhapsody. We'll get the counter kill on Archtiger.
Oh my god.
So it's a 1-for-1 right now. Rotten Grass going to miss both of them, but Bubbles is currently out of mana. Shell Surf is back, but he's going to need to get the TP out. Can they stop this? No, they can't. No stuns whatsoever. And Bubbles does manage to successfully evade the Hellborn heroes. Or the Legion heroes.
What time are you on?
Oh,
right
sorry
now?
about that. 6:02, 6:03, 04.
Okay, for some reason I'm 4 seconds ahead now again.
I don't think we resynced after the draft.
Yeah, we did.
I don't think so.
Or didn't we?
No, that was last game. Either way, top lane Electrician in a lot of trouble. It's going to be 1 stun. He's going to try to go the other way, but not really sure where he ended up, or where he would have ended up and how that would have saved his life. Either way, he takes them their death, so, well, Hellborn inside at least to even up the hero kill count, 2-2. And Marcus Moy getting an important assist. Middle lane, Bubbles, gonna get gone on a little bit by the Deadwood. Didn't use his punch, but annoyed Okami a little bit.
Yeah. More of a mental attack than physical attack.
And by the way,
hey.
Rally going Ghost Marchers here. Don't like that. Oh, miscompels stun. Nice
not
charging
a fan
strike.
of that either.
Oh boy, Empath, you could be in some trouble right here. Essence Link is healing her up a lot, but there the Dark Blades finally. Gonna need a couple more auto attacks to finish her off. Parasite actually coming in here. We'll put the leech onto Rally. He's got to compel back up in a second. There goes the stun from Andromeda onto the Parasite. Here comes Bubbles as well. Face Hug hits the Rally, but it's not going to be enough to secure a kill or prevent him from dying. Rotten Grasp also fails to connect. So it's going to be just the 1 kill on Parasite as almost the entire Hellborn team is down here. But then again, so is the Legion team, so everything's fine.
Really sloppy by the Hellborn team, or I mean the Legion team right now. They're giving the kills. That's like pretty much the only thing that could actually help Hellborn get back into this game. Parasite should just be focusing on farming, but he's been trying to gank twice now and failed both of the times. So he's on 240 GPM as a free farming Parasite.
Yeah. And they're going to go for something right here, actually. TDL, going to eat the Comet stun, but after she hit the Charging Strike, Compel on Empath, didn't hit the stun, but they will get the wall off, and there's absolutely no way that TDL's getting out of this one. The Kelpfield also connects onto the Rhapsody, who for some reason felt like it was a really good idea to go kill herself. And I don't know why.
That was...
Now top lane Silhouette looking for something, but won't be able to find the Electrician. Yeah, Resher, that was a bad plan.
And TDL as well. I mean, he was just being arrogant right there. He could have just leapt away from the Comet stun before it hit, but instead he was like, nah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just gonna be here, you know. And then he used Leap after the Comet stun went out, and therefore he died. But yeah, that was just greedy by him.
Right.
Or arrogant.
So, all of the advantages that the Legion side should have had thanks to the Hellborn's weird lanes and stuff like that are basically being thrown out the window. Did Andro just get a post-haste? I think she did. Anyway, Rally's gonna die in the bottom lane.
Post-haste? You mean Striders?
I thought she bought. I thought I saw a post haste. I'm like, there's no way
I'm
she
pretty
can
sure
have
she
post
didn't buy any
haste at 180
post haste.
GPM at 9 minutes in. I mean, I know she's got Striders now, but for some reason I thought I saw the post haste icon. Apparently I was wrong because that's ridiculous. But I don't know. Maybe I'm on drugs.
Maybe
Speaking of Andromeda, Veiled Rot in the middle lane, gonna be able to catch out this Deadwood. There goes the Comet Stun, and Eggy B gonna fall. So really nice gank set up there by the Veiled Rot. Actually, there's this Legion Ward of Sight that just absolutely did not see that Andromeda coming, thanks to the Rot. So solid use of a new item. Rally looking for a stun right here. Gonna be able to find Rhapsody, but the Staccato's back his pursuit off. And we see Empath and Andromeda rotating down here as well, though. Rally gonna find the Dark Lady right here. Do they have enough follow-up? Question. No, they don't. Empath Wall also not gonna hit. And the Legion side forced to play defensive here, but they don't lose any heroes. Andrew level 6, by the way. Yeah, I'm sorry.
This electrician is absolutely getting demolished top somehow. And I'm not sure why he stayed top for all this time. He should have been bottom at the 5-minute mark, or when he hit level 6 more or less, he should have
Grasp
been
is going to connect, and Rally is going to fall here as the silence from Parasite was too much. They got the swap in, and Parasite going to fall for his attempt at aggression. Bubbles does get hit by the punch from Deadwood, and the Rotten Grasp doesn't hit anything, though. Deadwood in a lot of trouble. One more auto attack will finish him off, but they can't find it. It's the Aurora that gets the kill. Bubbles, though, gets finished off by the Electrician. Comes in for one last hit, so ends up being a 3 for 2 in favor of the Legion side. They don't lose Dark Lady either, so that's good stuff. But I mean, the other thing is that this entire time Silhouette's free farming the top lane, so there's been a lot of action, but it's also prevented the Dark Lady from being able to do too much of anything, and Silhouette's up to 330 GPM.
Electrician ran all the way from the top to the bottom, and he just reached the bottom when the fight was about to end. Yeah. He got 1 kill, but I mean that could have literally just been a waste for him running all the way. So he's really wasting a lot of time right now. I feel like they should just sit on this rally more or less. They should secure farm on Dark Lady right now. Either that or they need to shut down the Silhouette. And right now they're just so far behind that they cannot shut down the Silhouette. So the only thing that they can do is focus everything on the Dark Lady. And to do that, they need 5 people bottom to just force the Hellborn team out of their forest. But they're not. I mean, they're gonna keep going top with this Electrician, and like, I mean, sure, he's 220 GPM, and I mean, him getting a few last hits is good, but it's not gonna change anything. The only thing that's gonna change something is if the Dark Lady gets on farm.
Right.
So.
And at this point, she's looking. I mean, she doesn't have Ghost Marchers yet. She's looking at a 25 to 30-minute cleaver. Rhapsody gonna need a Comet Stun right there after the swap goes through. Essence Link gonna hit as well. Wall prevents her from going anywhere, and she will fall. Andro gonna get gripped by Electrician, so it'll be at least a 1 for 1. No! Nice rally compel and the Comet Stun to follow it. Seismic Slam onto Ellie. They can actually finally finish off Archie Tiger's Andromeda, and they won't be able to kill Electrician. Meanwhile, Bubbles gets hit by the ultimate from Ellie. That's going to slow him down, but he's going to recover with some bottle charges, charging strikes, and Dark Blade. But there's a 2-man kelp field, and there's going to be no follow-up. Rotten Graft does not connect thanks to a nice compel from Rally. And the Hellborn team should be able to disengage successfully right here. Bubbles dropping a Shell Surf. We'll be able to go look for the 12-minute room, but it's already been taken. So that's fine. Ends up being a 1 for 1 trade of supports, and couple of ultimates.
It takes so long. It takes too long for the Hellborn or for the Legion team. I mean, even if they trade equally, I mean, Silhouette is completely free farming at the top lane and pushing the towers. So I mean, they need to address the problem quickly instead of going in one by one.
I really don't understand how this Parasite has 260 gold per minute.
No, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure why none of the heroes on the Hellborn side, or the Legion side for that matter, has a mana battery. Because they have literally been seeking action since like the 5-minute mark, and they don't have a mana battery.
I mean, we have 16 kills in 13 minutes. That's kind of a lot. And a lot of spells.
I mean, all you need to regen up in the early game is a mana battery, if you're taking early fights. You don't need to go back to base if you have a mana battery, but I mean, it's just 200 gold. That's all you need. You don't have to upgrade it. So very questionable. That's something that they should be looking to do in the future.
I mean, and Eggy too. I don't understand where their farm went. Like, we had 280 gold per minute on the Electrician, we had 300 plus on the Deadwood, and Parasite's not done well this entire game, but not for a reason I can identify. So a bunch of heroes that can do a ton of work in the early to mid game if they get a decent amount of farm, especially against a dual support lineup, and none of them are having any impact. Because...
Yeah, they're not addressing the problem. That's simply it. Hellborn team is just more experienced at this point and playing it so much better. They're doing what they should, and the Legion team is not doing. I mean, they're literally just waiting for the Hellborn team to make something happen, or like to go for the ganks, and then they TP when it happens. But I don't know. Parasite, I mean, he's here in the middle, Minotaur, trying to do something, get a deny on the tower, I guess, but he should just, Deadwood already had that. So, I mean, don't spend time on that, just go for the freaking puzzle box already.
And he's going to be able to find a Minotaur here and might find Empath, but the Hellborn side will back off, it looks like. They're going to spot each other.
No, he's going for another gank.
There's another rotation from the Andromeda. They're looking to finish her off, though. She cannot get a stun off thanks to the Dark Blaze, but a two-man Kelpfield going to allow them to finish off in the 6, as well as Goku's in the Parasite. And, oh god, the tree respawn totally screwed Electrician right there. That's painful, and Andro should be able to get out of this. No! The E from the Electrician finishes him off. Meanwhile, Silhouette joins the party, looking to finish off the Electrician. They should be able to get this kill, and actually off to the side, Deadwood is going at it with Rally, but Rally has no mana. He gets the mana battery, though, and that's going to be a kill! Rally going to survive, but just barely. They did finish off the Electrician as well, and that's a genocide.
Yeah, what can I say? Hellborn team playing very well. Really nice compel and man up here by Rally. And on top of that, like, Silhouette, she wasn't even there. I mean, she got there now, but it doesn't even matter because there were 4 people getting a genocide. Simply because the Legion team is just too slow in reacting. They don't have any vision whatsoever, so they don't know if they're 1 or if they're 4 at bottom, and they don't even have ports on their heroes. So, yeah, you're not gonna win this game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless you make a drastic change.
I feel like we can see
way.
similar things going on in all 3 of these games from the tyvm team, and honestly, this just looks a lot like a TMM game to me. A bunch of players who are individually skilled, so the laning phase went pretty well for them, at least the early laning phase. They were getting solid farm, they were winning top lane, they were winning mid lane, and that was fine. But when it comes to the whole playing as a team thing, it seems like the nuances aren't there. Like, when it was game 2 and the strategy was essentially all 5 of us are going to hold hands and push down lanes. That was fine because it didn't really have too much thought behind it. But this game's much more dependent on rotations. Speaking of that, in the middle lane, Deadwood's dead. And that's the sort of thing that the Legion side, literally that exact thing that just happened, has been what they have been completely unable to do. Deadwood farming on his side of the river, 2 heroes in the Hellborn team, they get a quick kill, they get out. The Legion side should have been able to do that all over the map, and they haven't. Because they don't rotate.
Yeah, they should have, like, I can't address the problem enough, but always when you're, like, if someone is doing an offensive try-in versus you, they are very reliable on getting those early kills, and even after the laning phase, keep getting the kills, because your supports are going to be under-leveled, so don't give it to them. Just, pick take your mid and your solo hero, and just port to the safe lane, and just, support your team. Instead of keeping your position in the current lane, and you will win so much more.
Yeah, just excessive static. Yeah, they're going to go try for some kills right here, and Bubbles could actually be in some trouble, but he's surprisingly tanky. Empath's going to get inside. Still going to get the kill, though, as Empath pops out, but there's 5 heroes here for the Legion side, and they're not going to get anything else out of this. They need to be really careful about it, actually. Andro taking a stun will also eat the grip, but now she's going to be able to walk away. There's 1 and 2 kills. Empath going to help finish off a 3rd one onto Eggy B. There goes the Electrician as he gets caught by the Kelpfield. And 4 heroes are dead to the Legion side. So, yeah, both you and I saw that coming from about 5 seconds before it happened. Which didn't...
I think that was the first time I ever saw a tree grapple stun 3 heroes.
Yeah. It's probably true. Oh, by the way, Marcus Moore has 550 GPM and a Thunderclaw and an All-Star. So.
And he was first blooded this game.
And he was first blooded, and he had 215 GPM against the 280 Electrician, who was in a 1v1 matchup and should have been able to crush him.
The Hellborn have overrun a Legion FOB.
Not too sure. Just too much inexperience from the Legion side, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
they should have had someone to call the rotations a little bit better than they did, because they literally kept their lanes throughout the entire game.
More or less. And, I mean, they're calling GG's right here, but apparently the CC vote will not go through. We're only 19.5 minutes into this game, and it is game 3, so you can certainly understand why they would want to stick it out for a little bit while longer, but just nothing's going right for them at this point. So going to dive in, and there's 5 heroes here, but she just does not care. Rottengrass does hit in the background, but the Rhapsody Ultimate won't be able to save the Dark Lady. Marcus Moy also falls, though. Seismic Slam not going to hit too much, and Electrician still going to die. Parasite popping out of a creep, trying to get away, but the Essence Leak is there. That'll help finish him off, and that will, in fact, be the GG as Game 3 going to CoolIo, and that means they'll be moving on to the round of 8. I can't talk anymore, apparently. Meanwhile, it's going to be tyvm dropping down to the loser's bracket round 1, and that means they're going to face demotion back to silver unless they can win that series as well. So, final thoughts there, Znoowy? Game, series?
I thought it was going to be the Legion team controlling the game after that disappointing laning phase from the Hellborn team, but well, they showed me that well, they showed me wrong, simply said. Legion team just not making the rotations whatsoever, just standing still throughout the entire game. If you win every single lane, more or less, which I think they did, because TDL wasn't even that far behind of Rally, like we mentioned. Rally wasn't necessarily getting the most out of his last hits, so if they would have just grouped up a little bit earlier, like they did in the game number 2, they would have probably, well, at least done a lot better job than they did.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's enough that we saw enough from tyvm in that series that you could really be disappointed with them for games 1 and 2, because game 2 went their way very, very quickly and easily. So that there's always this dilemma I have with teams that are good enough to show well but not do it consistently, because I'm like, come on guys, a little bit more and you could be something, and it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, it's so easy they should be able to do this, but I think there's some fixable things here.
Yeah, it's always like that, though. It's just on a different level, I guess, comparing to what league that you're in. I mean, it's the same in Diamond. Right now, it's pretty much only Sync Esports that has the potential of running every single strategy, or almost every single strategy, to close to perfection. So therefore, they can keep their consistency up all the time, while other teams can't.
Yeah.
And it's the same in Gold, obviously.
Yeah. Just a little bit more noticeable here in Gold Division, and especially in the early rounds, teams with some more obvious flaws, which means even I can see them. But that means it will be the game in the series, so congrats to CoolIo, they'll be moving on, and the guys on tyvm will be dropping down, so that'll do it for this series.